Hello and welcome to Capitol Corner. I'm Matt Gillard, bringing you the news and my views on what's happening here in Lansing, particularly around early childhood issues. While the legislature was in session for a shortened two-day week this week, as Thursday was a Jewish holiday of Rosh Hashanah, and Governor Snyder continues on a trade mission to China. It's really some of the interesting news. There's not a lot happening around early childhood issues as we speak, but the legislature was busy in their 2 days passing various legislation. Of most importance to the education community were two bills that moved out of the Senate Education Policy Committee this week. There's a package of bills being debated in that committee, wide-ranging in their scope on all different types of education reforms. But the two bills that moved out of committee this week were lifting the charter cap. Currently, there's a cap on the number of charter schools that universities can commission in the state of 150. The one bill would lift that cap. Another bill would allow school districts, K-12 school districts, to privatize their teaching services, to contract out with private companies for teaching services. Obviously, these are both very controversial bills. The teaching one particularly with the Education Union and the MEA and MFT and the other union groups, and the charter cap bill with all of the public school community, as they see a lot of competition from the charter community in different areas. It'll be interesting to see how these bills change or are modified as they move forward through the process. But they did come out of the Senate Education Committee this week after a couple of weeks of pretty strong and contentious debate. There are still a number of other bills in the package still looming in the committee, and we're looking for those to roll out here in the next couple of weeks. The Senate and the House, for that matter, were both also busy on some social issues. They did pass a partial birth abortion ban this week, which is something that's been anticipated for a long time. There's been some discussion in debate about what Governor Snyder will do, as he is not as strong of a pro-life advocate as many of those in the legislature are, but all our indications is that he will sign the bill that does ban partial birth abortions in the state. On the early childhood front, we continue to move along, pushing an active agenda, and we continue to help facilitate the Department of Education in this transition to the Office of Great Start. The executive order has fully taken effect, as I mentioned in an early edition of Capitol Corner, and we're really starting to see some of the programs and entities starting to come together over at the Department of Ed around this Office of Great Start. There's also a lot of work going on with the Early Learning Challenge Grant application. This is the next iteration of Race to the Top from the federal government. It's a third round, and it's all focused on early childhood. Michigan is in a strong position, we feel, to compete for this nationally, and the application deadline is October 19th. So there's a lot of work going on by various entities, including right here at the Early Childhood Investment Corporation, but in various entities throughout the state, working towards getting that application to be as strong as possible. Look for some further updates on that application in the next couple of weeks, with perhaps even some legislative activity related to it before the application deadline. Thanks for tuning in, and please tune in again next week for another edition of Capitol Corner.